South Africa's population remains mostly young, black and female. That's according to Statistics South Africa's latest mid-year estimates, which show an increase in the country's populations. There are currently 58.8 million people living in the country, 51.2% of which are female and mostly black. The figures show that women are also more likely to live longer than men. Newsroom Africa's Linda Mnisi has that story.
Young, black and female. That's what South Africa looks like in numbers. The country's population rising to 58.8 million. And the key drivers: fertility, mortality and migration.
When you look in relation to population groups, in relation to your black African, your colored, your white and your Indian Asian, black Africans account for about 81% of the population, which is about 47.7%. They are followed by coloreds at 9%. The coloreds have actually overtaken the whites. The whites are at 8% and 3% is for your Indian Asian population. Now, when you look at the population of those that are aged 34 years and younger, they account for about 65% of our population. So relatively, our population is generally young.
While South Africans live longer than they did a year ago, the report reveals that women live longer, particularly in provinces that offer a better life.
Both your urban provinces, Western Cape and Gauteng, are actually having higher life expectancies than your rural provinces of your KwaZulu-Natal, Limpopo. And you also have our life expectancy as of 2019 is sitting at 64.7 years. And out of those, there's a gap of about 6 years between males and females, with females living longer than males. And generally, in the urban provinces like Gauteng and Western Cape, it's a bit narrower. The gap is about 5 years, and in the rural provinces, the gap is about 6 years, even going as far as 7 years in provinces like the Eastern Cape.
But the country has seen an upsurge in the prevalence of HIV. Nearly 8 million people living with the virus. The prevalence among adults aged 15 to 49 increasing from 18.8% in 2002 to 22.7% in 2019. This is due to lack of treatment, particularly in provinces that are hardest hit.
When we started releasing our causes of death, we have seen that amongst the causes of death, HIV was kicking in. But if you look at the deaths in general, we are starting to decline coming out of 2006, where we were sitting in the up of about 600,000 persons, more than that actually. And now we are sitting at about 541,143 persons as an estimate for 2019.
If the statistics are anything to go by, South Africans living in more urban areas have a greater likelihood of a better life and living longer. For Newsroom Africa on Channel 405, I'm Linda Mnisi in Pretoria.